everybody, it's Emily at ARC Schooling, and welcome back to another episode of Homeschool Tidbits. Welcome back to Build Your Library's Homeschool Tidbits. Today we're going to be doing episode 35, and I'm going to be sharing some simple and fun ways to teach geography in your homeschool. In this weekly video series, I'll delve briefly into a topic related to homeschooling, and I'll share some of my knowledge and expertise with you as a longtime homeschooling mother of 4 children, 3 of whom have graduated and 1 who's graduated college. Geography can seem like a tricky subject to teach, especially if you're like me and you have a terrible sense of direction. Oddly enough, despite my ability to get lost literally anywhere, I love studying geography. Thankfully, it's more than just being able to read a map. It encompasses map skills, sure. It's also about learning about the environment and landforms. Geography is studying different countries and cultures. It's even understanding how water routes and land masses have helped societies and civilizations flourish or fall. Geography doesn't necessarily need to be a separate subject in your homeschool, and you can start teaching it to your very young children. Today I'm going to share some ideas to help you get started. If you use Build Your Library curriculum, some of these are going to be things that are already integrated into the Build Your Library lesson plan, so you might already be doing them. But some are ideas that might be new to you. I hope you find something here that is useful to adding to your geography studies. My first tip is going to be the most obvious. Keep a world map or a globe, or both, handy. Wall maps are great for viewing the entire 2-dimensional rendering of the world, visible all at once. However, sometimes you might not have the required wall space available to display them. Globes are smaller and therefore easier to use in a homeschool setting when you don't have a lot of wall space. You can pull them out, use it, and then put it back on the shelf. They also tend to be more visually accurate, as 3-dimensional renderings more closely resemble the actual Earth, and they don't distort the distances and locations to make them flat. Keeping a globe or map handy means that whenever you read about a new location or just want to remind yourself of where a place is located, you can easily look it up on your map. If you're reading a story set in India, for example, you can then go get your globe and see if your child can then find where they live and then travel via finger along the globe to find India and see how far it is from your home. How many different routes can you take to get there? Is it closer if you go east or west? When my kids were younger, we used to play a game using a big world map that I had on the wall in our kitchen. I would call out the name of a country, and then they would have to go find it on the map. Because there were 3 of them playing at once, it became a contest to see who could go and find it first. They would get pretty competitive, and they became very adept at finding countries on the map. And since we played this game often, and because they found it a fun thing to do, this knowledge seemed to stick much better. Another fun idea is to use a blank world map to track your reading. My youngest did a Read Around the World project a few years back, and she's since moved on from it, but we still reference the map once in a while. I basically printed out a huge blank world map in sections, and we glued it to one of those big trifold boards. Then whenever we would read a book set in a country that we hadn't read about before, she could go find it on the map and color it in, and then she would add a picture of the book cover along the edges of the big map. It helped her to learn quite a lot of geography, from map skills to learning about different countries and cultures. Just having a map or globe handy will make it that much easier to talk about things like continents and landforms and different countries and oceans and so much more. I think one of the easiest ways to study geography is to study it in context, by incorporating it into your other studies, like history, for example. This can start when you start studying prehistory, as you talk about the changing landscape as continents shifted from one huge landmass to what we would recognize today as the 7 continents. You can cut out the continents from an old map, or you could print out a blank world map and cut the continents out from that, and have your child try to fit them together to see how these continents may have once fit together to form Pangaea in prehistoric times. When you're studying history and you're learning about different events, you can have your children find those places on a map. It's particularly interesting when you're studying about places like ancient Rome or events like world wars, so you can see how borders were constantly changing over time. Adding in some great living books set in countries and periods that you are studying in history will bring those cultures and places to life. Having a story to peg that information to will ensure that your child will truly learn the material. But there are so many fun ways that you can incorporate geography into your homeschool day. You can put together map puzzles or play games like Scrambled States of America or Ticket to Ride. YouTube has so many great channels like Geography Now or National Geographic Kids. You can also watch great documentaries like Planet Earth or Blue Planet. There's even games you can play on the computer or your phone like GeoGuessr, where you can use Google Maps and they drop you in a location and you have to figure out by your surroundings where you think you are in the world. Cetera Geography Games is another activity that I particularly love because it's filled with fun map quizzes that you can use to test your geography knowledge. Cooking is another great way to learn about new cultures. I love trying new foods. So when we study a country, I like to try to find a few recipes that we can try out. There's also fun subscription boxes like Universal Yums, where they send you snacks from all over the world to try. And don't forget about the arts. When you're learning about different cultures or time periods, try to incorporate their art and music into your day. You can easily add this into your morning basket time. You can listen to a composer, watch a video of a dance performance, or study a piece of art as part of your morning routine. There are so many fun and easy ways that you can incorporate geography into your homeschool routine, and it never has to be a boring subject. If you found this video helpful, I hope you'll check out Build Your Library curriculum. Build Your Library is a secular, literature-rich homeschool curriculum inspired by Charlotte Mason's philosophy of education. Based on nearly 20 years of homeschooling, I created the curriculum that I wish I'd had when I first started homeschooling. I've spent thousands of hours cultivating the best literature to enhance your child's studies. Our lesson plans make homeschooling simple. Just open them up, gather your books, and go. Our easy-to-use lesson plans include everything you need to homeschool. Just add math. Choose from our full year K-12 levels, as well as our fun topical unit studies and Lit Bites. With Build Your Library, you will cultivate a home library filled with captivating literature, and you'll raise children who become lifelong learners. So snuggle up with our lesson plans and a good book or three, and have your best homeschool year ever. I hope you found this tidbit helpful. Come back next week for more homeschooling inspiration. Until then, happy reading. Bye!